Hey everyone, how you all doing? To be honest with you, I wasn't sure if people would turn up today. With it being New Year's Eve, wondered if people would have better things to do. But obviously, there isn't much else going on these days. So I've just got to say, Carly, I'm really sorry to hear about that. That is just terrible news. So yeah, I hope you have a swift recovery from it. Not a good way to end the year, is it? Although in some ways, maybe it's good to get it out of the way in 2021, and so that you're you're all clear for 2022. But yeah, hope you're feeling better soon. Hey Rob, great to see you as always. And it is 22, obviously in the future. So you lot are also last year. Hey Randy, good to see you too. And Jim, hello from Honolulu. I suppose you'll be one of the last to get out of 2021, won't you, over there? Back in the olden days in Hawaii. And Pringles Domain. I don't know if I know your name, but I can't remember it if I do. So let me know your actual name, unless it is Pringles, in which case, hi Pringles. But it's always nice to call people by their name. Sammy Superstar, good as always to see you as well. And Mr. Paul Duncan as well. The whole LGL family is here. Let me have a little look. Yeah, indeed. I'm in the first live stream actually from the new studio. So it's actually a real background for a change. That's right, getting it out of the way now. Lee. Okie dokie. Lee. That makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? Lee. I'll remember that. In fact, I'll write it down now to embed it in my memory, and then I'll remember going forward. So, yeah, how are you all doing on this fine New Year's Eve, New Year's morning, whichever it is for you? Well, it's been quite a year, hasn't it? In one way or another. Certainly, it's been the year that I started my YouTube channel, so it's not like I'm going to do a little bit of a review of what's happened in this year, as I normally do with my channel updates. But obviously, everything that's happened with my channel has happened in this year. In fact, really, the sort of second half of it, because I started on the 15th of May was my first live stream. It's quite funny thinking back to that live stream because I didn't actually join. So I know most of you here are in Doc Rock's office hours group. I actually did my first office hours the day after my first live stream. So rather than getting all the help and support to get everything set up, I just wanted to get all of that bit out of the way and done with, and then start into Doc's group after that. So basically, my first live stream was literally to nobody. I started the live stream going, there was no subscribers on the channel. Nobody knew that I was even doing it. And so it was just me in my basement talking into the camera, which was a bit of a weird sensation, I've got to admit. But part of the reason why I didn't want to go into like a support group before actually starting it is I just wanted to get it done and sort of get the ball rolling. And I thought if I go into a particular group, then I'm likely to start getting all sorts of other ideas and things that would actually get in the way of me doing what I need to do. Hey, Michelle. Just got to say a quick hello to Michelle, as always. I don't know if you're watching from the toilet today or if you're watching from somewhere else. Yeah, it was one of those things where, yeah, I thought if I go along to Doc's, and I think I was probably wise, to be honest, because seeing what everyone else was doing and hearing all of the other ideas and things like that, it could easily have just gotten in the way of me actually just making a start. So in any case, it has come on a little bit since then. And I hit a bit of a milestone in the last couple of days, which was quite nice to get out of the way before the end of the year. So I'll just give you a quick update, as I normally do, on my whoops, nearly pressed the wrong Stream Deck button then. On my I'm still aiming obviously for 365 videos in my first year. And oh, hey Greg, nice to see you here. Happy New Year to you as well. So yeah, I'll give you a quick update on my 365 videos in a year. I'm still behind, as I was at the end of last year. Now, did I update that 183? I'm not sure. Am I really that far behind? I think I probably am. So it's day 232, week 33, and I've only done 183 videos. But I have just cracked the 1,000 subscribers mark, which is always one of those little milestones in the YouTube journey. 6,500 watch hours and 67,000 views. These are still sort of boggling my mind, to be honest, these numbers, because it's not necessarily what I was expecting when I started, or at least I would have liked to have got it, but I didn't know entirely that it was going to come or not, and certainly nothing's taken for granted. So yeah, this past month has been the month of Vlogmas, and let me take you back to the 1st of December, or the live stream that I did just before the kickoff of December. And I said that what I was going to do was I was going to post a Vlogmas video every day, a regular YouTube video every day, and also a short every day. Well, I failed basically on all of those, and there's no excuses. I just didn't do it. I think probably part of the issue was that my parents came to visit, and before they arrived, I sort of imagined that I was going to just be doing exactly the same stuff as I always have, you know, my same routine, and that would be that. However, I sort of underestimated. Of course, when they arrived, I just wanted to spend a lot more time with them. So that's the issue, really. And given that my main priorities are sort of family and work, and the YouTube stuff is kind of has to be secondary. It's all done sort of in my free time in the morning when I get up early. Well, now I've had to be shifting a lot of my work sort of stuff to that time, and yes, just my routine's been a little bit out because I've been spending time with them. So that is my little excuses out of the way. And this seems like a good point to put up this message from Anton. Thank you very much. I'll take that and I'll frame it and put it on the wall. Indeed, Greg, great to see you here. Yes, you are so last year, Greg. It is 2022 here. I'm just waiting for you all to catch up. Indeed, yeah, epic fail. I do actually though feel quite positive about. I say quite positive. I feel exceptionally positive about 2022. Mind you, I feel positive about most things, to be honest. I'm one of those annoying people that, you know, even in a train wreck, you know, it'll be, oh well, look on the bright side, and there's always a bright side to things. So I know it's yeah, waiting for everyone to catch up. But yeah, I'm feeling positive about the new year, and about my goal really for the channel. So the 365 videos in a year. Now that I've moved into my space. Oh, so that is another thing that sort of took up some of the time in December. I'd kind of decided that I was going to put my studio build on hold until after the new year. But then with my mum and dad being here, I thought it'd be a nice little thing to do with my dad. So we did this together, and it was just, to be honest, although he came up with lots of great ideas, it probably took us twice as long to do it together because we just ended up nattering all the time and chatting. So, but it was really, really good. So I'm glad to glad that he was here to help out with it as well. Oh well, thank you, Paul. That's appreciated. Yeah, that's it. You've always got to look on the bright side, haven't you? I think there was a song about that, but I won't punish you all with me singing. So yeah, I do feel positive about hitting my goal. It's just a case of doing a couple of videos a day on a few days over the next next 4.5 months, 5.5 months. So 15th of May, as I say, was when I started. So that's basically how much time I've got to hit my target. Is there any way to make the comments pop up by themselves in Ecamm? Anton is asking. There isn't as such, no. You can sort of hack it. You can just take a screen share overlay and share the comments window itself, so you just sort of see the stream of them, but then you are at the mercy of whatever anybody comments. So yeah, that might be a little bit risky depending on what people are commenting. Obviously you're all exceptionally well behaved. So yeah, there isn't a way that it will just sort of automatically pop them up. There is a button for the Stream Deck that you can just pop up the last comment. So if I was to hide this comment, then there's one to just automatically put up whatever the last comment was. So that's sort of a way to do it. So I should tell you, given that we're talking about the channel, about a little thing that happened 2 days ago, which was I hit my 1,000 subscriber milestone, and so that means that I was eligible to be monetized on YouTube for the YouTube Partner Program. Now, I've heard a lot of things about this, about how long it can take to get accepted. Once you've actually hit the 1,000 subscribers, you have to set up your Google AdSense account, which is how you'll get paid. Now, I've already got an AdSense account that I've had for 16, 18 years now, something like that. So I just literally added it to that one. So I didn't have to wait for that step of waiting until it got until the AdSense account was approved. I already had the account, so that was basically a tick. In fact, I've even got a little screen grab of normally in the monetization section on the YouTube. You will see here where it's just showing you sort of your progress towards the different targets, the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So once you actually hit that, then it brings up this little step here, and you can review partner program terms. So that's just obviously terms and conditions. So you click that one. Sign up for Google AdSense. So then you would have to do that. So if you are on the way to monetization, it's definitely worth setting up your Google AdSense account in advance. Oh, thank you very much, Paul Duncan. That is officially my first super chat. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. And that will go straight into the coffee pot as well, you know. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And I've got to figure out a way to actually get those up in a much better way on the... in fact, I haven't even put that one up, have I? I need to find a better way to put that up on the screen. I'll have to set up some sort of fancy alert or something, won't I? But much appreciated. Oh, no problem. That's it's great for you to stop by. I really appreciate you stopping in, Jim. So yeah, have an absolute wonderful New Year and enjoy the Japanese food. I'm quite a fan of Japanese food as well. Great stuff, Jim. Great to see you. So yeah, just back to the monetization. So if you are on the way to monetization, it's definitely worth getting your AdSense account set up in advance so that you don't have to wait for that. So because I had that already set up, I didn't have to wait. Now, incidentally, I think you can probably go in and do this as soon as you actually hit the 1,000 mark. But I did wait until I got an email from YouTube before even going and having a look at it. So it was actually yesterday, my time, at about I would say about 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, that I went in to check this. So 10 o'clock in the morning, I reviewed the partner program, signed up for the AdSense. Oh, Rob, thank you very much. Sorry, I've got to just obviously pause to acknowledge this. This is very generous and kind. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Rob. And Lee's saying as well, yeah, Stream Elements. So I've got Stream Elements actually, and in fact, if I have my, it's not always on my live stream, is it? I'll have to figure out that. Yeah, I have got a Stream Elements. I've just never really dug into it. The only thing it does at the moment is when it's on, it will pop up when there's a new subscriber. But definitely have to get that up and running to acknowledge these lovely and generous people. It was 10 o'clock yesterday. I just clicked on the AdSense to set up that, to assign it to my AdSense account. It does take a little bit of a while, even if you've got the AdSense account set up. It just says it's just sort of processing it, whatever. I think that took about an hour and a half. So I say, wow, not really that long. And then you get to this step where it says get reviewed and it's in progress. Now, what it said here was YouTube will review your channel to make sure it complies with the YouTube monetization policy, and you will receive a decision usually within a month. So there was me expecting to sort of sit back and wait for a month before I got a decision. But then check this out. If I come back to here, I've even got this as a little overlay. Look at that. It was literally by 9 o'clock last night. So this is my official welcome to the YouTube partner program, having been approved for all of those steps. 31st of December, 9:03 p.m. So it literally happened like the same day and all just before the end of the year, which was quite nice. I don't know whether the YouTube approval people were twiddling their thumbs, not doing anything by the end of the year. Who knows? But nevertheless, there we go. It got approved in a matter of hours. As I say, from 10 until, within 12 hours, wasn't it? Anyway, so that is all to say that I'm quite pleased that that's all gone through by the end of the year. It was a nice way to wrap out the year, basically. And I thought I'd just take you through and show you while we're here. So once you do get this one and it says get reviewed, then when I came through this morning, so seeing the notification just before I started this live stream, I refreshed this page and then this one popped up to say you are now a YouTube partner. get started, and so clicked on that one, and it took me through to this page where there's a little video telling you about you know, how to be a good conscientious YouTube citizen and how to make money on YouTube and things like that. And then you click on the turn on ads. So I clicked on turn on ads, and then you get this one, so the type of ads, and so by default they're all checked. So I just sort of left them all checked and clicked on the next button, so that presumably I thought that would make them all available for to potentially add into the videos. And then the next one was this one, which has another video about the YouTube Partner Program. But then here you can select which videos you want to monetize. Either I will choose or all of them. So I clicked monetize all. And then that basically applied, presumably, all of those ads to all of my videos, which actually is not quite what I wanted, because you'll have to bear with me if you watch any of my videos for the next few days, and suddenly they're just full with ads. I definitely need to go and address that, because what I don't want to have is one of these video channels where you end up with a pre-roll ad, ads right in the middle where you don't want them, lots of little pop-ups and overlays and things like that. So I've got to go back and just adjust my settings once I've figured out how to adjust the settings, and make sure that I'm not I don't want to come across as too aggressive with advertising on the channel at all, because it really bugs me when people do it on their videos. So do bear with me for the next couple of days about that. Let me have a little look. Yes. So, Greg, you were recreating my Ecamm setup on OBS and saw you. Oh, yeah, you were the one that put me over 1,000. Yes, of course, Greg. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. So, but like I said, you know, subscribing on 2 channels, you do need to you do need to know watch all my videos twice. That's just the rules. You like my chat message on screen. I should do a tutorial on how to do this. Do you know what? I am going to make a total remake of all of my Ecamm videos, because I haven't actually made a full sort of start to finish Ecamm series since I did the my epic 5-hour video, so, or 4.5. So I shall get onto that. Let me just remove this comment. There we go. So yeah, I will get around to doing that. Oh, hey, Eileen, great to see you. I've got to say, it has been a highlight of this year, just getting to know all of you lovely people. I know we've got most of the people in the chat are the LGL fam. If you're not, by the way, then I should just say, if you want to, if you're watching and you want to join a community of like-minded people, then definitely go to buymeacoffee.com/docrock and check out Docrock's community, because that's where I am every morning on a Sunday morning, Friday evening or afternoon for most people. But yeah, a really great group of supportive people, all looking to help each other do great things. So anyone who's not already in that group, definitely head over to there. Highly recommend it. So where was I? So yeah, that is the where I'm up to with the monetization. Like I say, do bear with me while I just sort out the ads and not having them in absolutely every video everywhere. So what else? I've got some notes today, because I felt a little bit, when I say notes, just little bullet points, because I felt like I'd got quite a lot to cover and I could see I was going to get sidelined. And as I already am. Who is that Doc Rock that everyone speaks of? I know what's with him. And what is the big deal about Doc Rock anyway? I mean, it's not like he just knows everything about everything and has total memory recall to remember all these facts. So I don't know what the big deal is, but anyway, there you go. We've got to support him. So yeah, so that has been my my road to monetization. I'm going to do a full video actually all about YouTube monetization, like now that I've hit it, because I have actually been able to monetize the channel in the interim as well. So it's not like I've been sitting here waiting for it. I did want, when I started the channel, I wanted it to be sort of cost neutral as quickly as possible. And so if you take out my time, it's been cost neutral. If you factor in my time, I'm getting paid a pittance, but I'm sure that will change, and I'm not bothered, because I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to expand my my own abilities. So that's the point of the channel, really. But yeah, as I say, I did want it to be cost neutral, so I'm going to do a full sort of breakdown of everything that has everything that I've done from start to finish to monetize the channel, and how that's worked out in terms of revenue and costs and things like that. So expect that video in the next probably in the next week. I am going to get back to regular daily videos. I've done a couple over the last couple of days, and then in fact I've done 3 over the last 2 days. I've also got to do one final Vlogmas one. Technically it's not Vlogmas, is it? But I feel like it's a loose end, because I did this series of videos about different things that I do outside of the channel, and so there's one extra thing that I've got to cover. So I might even do just like a delayed 31st video, because I didn't do one on the 31st for my Vlogmas. But anyway, that's a lot of waffling, isn't it? So what else has been going on? Well, there is the studio build, and this is basically what's put everything else back, is spending the time doing this. For about a week, and it's been really good, actually, and I'm so pleased to get out of the basement. Not like it was a particularly bad environment or anything, but it's just nice to have a proper studio space as opposed to a virtual one. So I've stripped everything out of the basement now, so I should probably go and just do a little video of that and show you the space without the green screen, so you can get an idea of what that's like. But yeah. It's just nice to be in. There's been a few things that I've done in here that I've sort of shown over my my Vlogmas video series. So I did a whole sort of studio build series of videos, and yeah, he does indeed live on a small island in the Pacific. So yeah, it's been just sort of good, but I see how easy I get distracted by comments coming in. It's been really a good journey to sort of build out the studio, and maybe what I should do is I have done a series of videos in Vlogmas about it, but once I've actually got everything done, then I'm going to do a complete sort of official video showing all about sort of the build and how I've done it. But what I could do now is actually, first of all, I've now got an overhead shot. Let's see if this works. There we go. Hello. So this is the little Logitech camera. At some point I will upgrade that to a proper camera. But you can now see that I do officially have legs, albeit in shorts. And I've now got a sort of, it's not really a standing desk. I talked about this before. In fact, let me just look at you. So the desk that I had before, which is this one, was just obviously a sitting desk. But I wanted to raise it up, because the issue that I had was with the green screen that I was using before. The camera was on top of this monitor, which is a 43-inch monitor, and so it was quite high because the monitor is just by definition quite large, and so the camera was sort of pointing down at me, which you didn't really notice in with the green screen, because obviously the green screen was at the correct angle, and so it was just enough that you didn't really notice that it was particularly looking down, but then the background sort of corrected it all. Whereas if I'd been sitting down at this desk, then it would have been basically looking down at the floor, which is obviously not what I wanted. I could have made the whole desk a standing desk, but then the monitor would have been raised up and I would have had exactly the same position, the same issue. So basically what I've done is I've extended the legs a little bit to make this more like the height of a kitchen counter, and then I've got a kitchen counter stool underneath. But then when I'm doing my videos or live streams, then I'm just going to be standing, and I just got this little desk that sits on top to sit my Stream Deck on, so that that is still at a normal height. Yeah, this is kind of like my setup. So I could actually just take it over to, whoops-a-daisy, not that one. Let me get this one back. I could take it back to this one. Where's it gone? If I come over to this camera, there we go. So this is my setup at the moment. Now I'm getting a bit far away from the microphone, aren't I? I don't normally have a laptop on there. That is that's my old laptop. I am making a course at the moment, as well a lot of you know, the Zoom course, which I've got to come on to in a moment, in fact. So I've been doing stuff with multiple computers at the same time to display and show certain things. So normally I wouldn't have my my desk on there. I got this yesterday, actually, because I found that when I was doing my videos, everything was just a bit too low on the desk. So I bought this when I went to the local hardware store, and it was, let me think what it is in dollars, $4. $4 $4 for a little riser for the desk. So I think that was probably bargain of the year. Just got in at the end of the year. So yeah, that's the sort of setup I've got. My actual Mac Mini is underneath. So I've got a little shelf underneath. Whoops. But yeah, the little Mac Mini's underneath there. And what else have we got in here? I then got the, this is my overhead cam. That's actually a little RGB light underneath there, but I just put this little hood on it so it doesn't shine too much on my my head. And then this is just a iPhone 5 XS, I think it is. Can't remember the model, but a really old one. But it's the camera's more than adequate for the occasional over-the-head shot. And then this is just on a sort of one of these little boom arms. And there, obviously, the DesView T3 and my old Canon EOS 60D, a 10-year-old camera. I was going to upgrade to the Sony ZV-E10, and in fact, it was one of the goals that I put on my Buy Me a Coffee. I did hit the goal, and then it wasn't available in Thailand for ages. And then it just got discontinued, or rather they pulled the production of it. So I'm now in a situation where I would love to have the ZV-E10 sitting on top of there, but at the moment it's just not available. So as soon as it is, though, I will be getting one. I was tempted by two, in fact, but I'll just stick with one for the time being. If I can get hold of one, I'll be very happy. And so that's going to go up there. I have still got a green screen over there, which is, you can see it's made with, I should do a separate video about that, but that is just PVC plumber's pipe. And then the little clips are clipping onto the cloth over the top of the green screen. And then I've got some little hangers to hang that up here. So if I do need to do green screen stuff, which I still will do occasionally, then I can do that. I might actually just get a rolling green screen to put over here. One thing that I am really happy with, the way that they've come out, is these acoustic panels. So I'm going to do another video about these, how I made them. So they're basically 2 foot by 4 foot, 2 inches thick, and then they stand off the wall by 2 inches as well. And it makes such a difference to the acoustics. I've got my what are they called? Forget now, Nanlite Pavo tubes over there that Doc recommended. I'm going to do something better with the mounting. At the moment, I've just got them on a stand and they are kind of like behind my head. So normally you don't see them, you just see the wash of light on the wall. I'm going to put something on the wall, so like some shelves or something like that. And then I've got a couple more of the panels on this side. And then over on this side, I've got this sliding panel. So I made one that was basically double size and I've got a window behind there. And so this can slide to reveal the window. So it means that when I'm not recording, I can open that. And so where I am is actually, we call it the cottage. It's like a little cottage at the bottom of the garden. And looking out that window looks into our vegetable patch. So I've got a nice view out of there if I'm not actually recording. And then I've got another double panel over on the back behind the monitor. And that's blocking out another window there. And that one's just sort of permanent, obviously, because obviously the monitor's in the way. There is another window there, and I'm going to have a curtain that basically goes across from this wall across to that other wall to basically block out the sort of entryway to help keep the noise down. Not that there is really much noise, but it just helps with that and the light. And my daughter, one of the things that she loves doing is designing dresses, and so she got a little sewing machine for Christmas. And one of the first things that I'm going to give her as a little job is to make me some curtains. So I had some of the grey material left over. So as a way for her to practice her sewing machine skills, she's going to make the curtains for me. So that's very nice. She's been making all sorts. It's like you can't keep her off it. She's been making little clothes for her sister's dolls. She's been making pillows for her sister's dolls and all sorts of different things. So she's just looking for any excuse to use it, really. So and it'll be nice for her to have a little input into the into the studio. Let me have a little look. I'm just catching up with the things. Oh, thank you very much, Michelle. I've got to put that comment up. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You too. I've loved all of your series that you've had. You've been a lot more consistent than me this last month. I've seen you. And yeah, I've always loved your brand, as I've told you before. It's A really, really nice look. But then what do I expect from the branding expert? Team shorts, I know. So I got a whole plan of shorts that I was going to do. And in theory, they shouldn't take me too long. I mean, I do literally just record them and then they're done. But yeah, just other things got got in the way. Oh, sorry. Of course, that is team shorts, as in my shorts, as opposed to YouTube shorts. Yeah, there you go. I suppose if I'm on YouTube wearing them, are they YouTube shorts? Let's let's think about that one. The drink far too close to the keyboard. Do you know what? You might be right. And the other thing is, with this Elgato low-profile arm that sort of sweeps across the desk, I am just envisaging one day me moving the mic out of the way and then it just knocking something off. But there you go. You've got a very good point there, Lee. Thank you very much, Sammy. And next year's ZV-E10 or a 6400. So I was just waiting for the ZV-E10, but then yeah, I was quite gutted really when they announced that due to chip shortages, it was being put on hold and got taken down from everything. So yeah, a bit annoyed about that. You want to know about the clock? Right, let me have a look. Now, this is a non-brand clock, but there you go. Let me bring this up a second. There we go. So it's just a big USB. Sorry, moving away from the microphone. It's just a big USB digital clock. And I like having it up there. It's got the temperature, look, 27 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. That's... yeah, not sure. Speaking of temperature, that's one thing that I haven't done is I've got a wire hanging down there that is for the aircon. So I haven't got aircon in at the moment. The fan is off at the moment, but if it starts getting much hotter than 27, then the fan will be coming on. And there we go. Just to prove it, look, 1st of January. I should probably put a link into it, to be honest. It's I didn't get it from Amazon. I got it from Lazada, which is the sort of Southeast Asia equivalent of Amazon. We don't have Amazon as such in Thailand. There isn't an Amazon Thailand site, for example. But you can get stuff. You order it from either the UK or the US store, and it can come here. But that was from Lazada. But it's just a non-brand as such. But it was, what was it? 400 baht. So that would be about $12, something like that. So I'll try and dig out a link actually and just drop it in, and you'll be able to pick it up from there. So check back. I'll leave a link. It is nice. I've got a couple of them actually. So one here and one in the kitchen. It's just a nice big display, and yeah, I never miss a meeting that way. So let me have a little look. Thank you very much, Carly. Appreciate that. Well, do you know what? So when I was doing these panels, I was thinking about what you had said about making prints. I think it was you that had said it about making prints, and then actually having that as the cover form. So I did consider doing that, but just in the interests of time and everything, I didn't. Although when I went to the fabrics shop to buy the fabric to cover them in, I did see some leopard skin, leopard print fabric, which I considered for a moment, but I didn't want to tread on Michelle's brand. I thought of going with zebra. They did have some zebra print instead. I thought, well, maybe we could start a sort of LGL safari, but yeah, I just went with the plain black and grey in the end. I have actually got some lights on order. So what I want to do is have sort of backlighting. So if I just come back a minute, I've got to take this. I've got Christmas wallpaper on my phone. I've got to take that off. But I did want to basically, so they're all standing off the wall by, as I say, 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is put a coloured light sort of behind it, so you get a coloured sort of wash coming out from behind them, just to help them sort of stand off the wall. Probably not all of them, just the ones that are in shot. So those 4, and so I've actually ordered some lights for that. That is on its way. So I'll be getting that up probably in the next week or something like that. So I'll see what effect that has. I've still got to work on the lighting and everything. Obviously, it's just a version 1. But yeah, I did think about going down the print route, Greg. You can also check on eBay for... of course, yeah, for the ZV-E10. Yeah, I really should do that, shouldn't I? I mean, why haven't I done that is the question. will I be doing? First of all, hi Chris. Will I be doing anything? Will I be doing how you use Ecamm interview with Zoom anytime soon? Could you include how to manage save the recording of it so that those who missed it can view it? Thanks. I will actually. I'm sort of doing. So I'm doing it. I'm doing a Zoom masterclass, which in theory should launch today, but there's going to be an email going out today saying I haven't quite finished it, so it's going to be delayed by a week, which interestingly is the amount of time that I spent on building this studio. So that's the reason for the delay. I just didn't have time. So yeah, there is going to be a whole Zoom masterclass about that. However, I will do a specific sort of non-paywall video about that. Because yeah, it's a useful feature of Ecamm, so I'll have that on the regular channel as well about how to use interview mode, and could I include how to manage or save the recording of it for those who missed it can view it. So, do you mean save the recording in Zoom? So Zoom, obviously, you can record that. With Zoom, you can also stream to YouTube or Facebook, so you can actually stream it to like the actual Zoom thing. You could have Ecamm running, bringing your guest in, Ecamm live as the virtual camera feeding into Zoom, and then within Zoom have that streaming to YouTube, so it's recording the actual Zoom side of things, including your interviewee. That would be the way that I would do that, if I've understood you correctly. But yeah, I will do a video about that and put it on the channel. Oh, hey, Glenda, great to see you. Oh yeah, to be honest with you, as soon as Jasmine, my eldest, gets on YouTube, any numbers that I've got are going to be just nothing for her. She's just a total natural on camera. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, Doc's talked about this before, how things are, ideas are put into our heads when we're kids, that we can't do this or we can't do that. And these sort of things that hold us back as adults are often just instilled in us as children, that we should be nervous about doing this or that or the other. But if you see my daughter Jasmine, and so she's 9, she's going to be 10 in 21 days. And then there's my Emily, who's the youngest daughter. She's 5. If you see them on the camera, they're just total naturals, and they absolutely love it. So they will be, or Jasmine will be starting her channel at some point. I've just got to be very careful about it because it's kids on YouTube is always a bit of a concern, isn't it? But she would love to be doing some stuff, so we'll have to figure out a way to do that. Oh, is that true? If they have put the ZV E10 back up, then okay, right. Well, I'm on that then. Okay, stream's over. I'm going shopping. I need to just I'll do that immediately after, because if it's available in the UK, then yeah, I'll definitely be able to. If it's available in the US, then I'll definitely be able to get it. It's just that it had been taken down, and last time I checked, which was 3 days ago, it still wasn't available in the certainly in the Thai Sony store. So I'll have to go back and check the US though. That's great. I'm distracted now. Can you tell? Thanks for letting me know, though, Glenda. That's awesome news. And you've just got your Amazon link. Oh, great. That is amazing. I tell you, another thing that I keep trying is the Amazon Influencer Program. So with that one, you just basically go into in fact, shall I just try it now? Shall we have a little look? Because they don't tell you actually what the criteria is to get into that, so that you can then start posting videos on Amazon. Let's have a little look. It would help if I spelt it right, wouldn't it? So I'm going to just go through this process. Whoops daisy, I don't want to do that. Now, why is that opening like that? 1 second. I'll just show you the process so that we can have a look at this. So here we go. You basically go to this thing, affiliateprogram.amazon.com/influencers, and then you click on sign up. And then it will say use an existing customer account. So click on that, and then you click on your YouTube channel, and then you click sign up with YouTube, and then you click on this one. Oh, I'll probably have to go back and edit this out, won't I? There you go. Thank you for applying. We appreciate your interest in the Amazon Influencer Program. Unfortunately, your account does not meet the eligibility requirements at this time. So it's just a case of keep going back and trying this, and yeah, keep trying. So they don't actually say what the criteria is for that, but yeah, looking forward to getting that one as well. Hey, Rich, great to see you as always. 2022 is going great. It's couldn't hope for better. Well, I'm here with all of you guys after all, aren't I? No problem, Chris, anytime. And if you've got any other questions or video requests, by the way, then I'm always open to suggestions and always happy to make videos that are answering specific questions. In fact, to be honest with you, that's kind of what most of my videos are. Somebody's either asked a question in office hours, in the Ecamm Live group, or somewhere else, and I just sneakily go and make a video about it. Best Buy still has them as well, does it? Right, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission after this because that will make a big difference. Because at the moment, this the camera that I'm using is a, as I say, 10-year-old EOS 60D Canon coming in over USB, which means that in this case the I'm losing my train of thought here. I tell you what it is. I've just seen the message that about the delivery date from Paul, so I'm getting distracted by comments again. Whoops! Don't want to go to that. Press the wrong foot pedal there. I've just completely forgotten what I was talking about. Never mind. I'll move on. Oh yeah, it was the Canon. So I'm basically only getting 720p out of that over USB. So although Ecamm does sort of scale it up, it's obviously going to be better to have something that is a little bit more capable. Not sure if it's back up again. I'm just suggesting that when it goes back up here, you have one. I get you. No problem. Well, I'm gonna do a bit of chasing because yeah, Paul's saying that it's still available in Best Buy as well. So I'll do a little bit of digging, and good to know that I've got some other options. But what Sammy said was great. Obviously, checking for things like eBay and stuff like that. I'll find a way. We'll get one eventually. Thanks, Michelle. So let me just revert to my my notes before I get completely off track. Yeah, so I was going to talk about the Zoom Masterclass, but I think I've already just sort of alluded to the fact that, yeah, I've got to send out an email today saying it's not quite ready because... so one of the things was I wanted to show off some certain things in the videos that I was doing for that just look better in a proper studio space rather than I can't do everything on green screen, and the other place that I was just wasn't really conducive to doing that sort of stuff. So mainly because I was literally at the back of the basement. It was not exactly the best, most photogenic place, shall we say. So so yeah, that was another reason to just get the studio done. So I will be getting on with the launching the course now. I would imagine it's going to be in 1 week's time. So I'm going to send out an email to that effect in it might be a bit sooner, but we'll aim for that. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, how I thought when I came into December, just before my parents arrived, that I was just going to be able to plow on exactly as normal, not really stopping for for anything. It was a bit ambitious, I think, but there you go. Yeah, Best Buy and eBay is the answer. There's got to be someone selling one, hasn't there? Surely. There's got to be somebody who's bought it and decides they don't want it, or has just seen an opportunity to to sell it on. So anyway, I'll find one from somewhere. I'm going to stick up my my little join link now for anybody who does fancy coming on in and having a chat about 2022 or 2021 and how things have gone for them. So in terms of me, what I've got planned, I've obviously got the Zoom class to come out. I'm also going to do a couple of other courses because I appreciate that I've got loads of videos to make. I've still got the same long list that just gets I'm adding more videos to the list than I'm making. So I've got a long list, and I'm not going to run out anytime soon. But I do appreciate that some people prefer the organisation that comes with a course. And I think it was it Stephanie Liu on Doc's show? When he interviewed her, and she said information is free, people pay for organisation. And I kind of get that as well, because if I want to learn something, I'll go to the University of YouTube all day long, obviously. But then sometimes if there's something I want to deep dive on, then I will just go and do a course on it. So I have got a few other courses sort of planned. So one of them being an Ecamm course. I know obviously there is the master himself, Adrian, doing the Ecamm Academy. But there's always people who like a certain person's style over another's, and so there's always room, I think, for another option in terms of course. And his is obviously the Academy, where it's a thing that people join and do together, but then it's always nice to have other options. So mine would just be sort of a pre-recorded course of sort of start to finish. But to be honest with you, I'm going to do the videos on my channel in the most part in any case. I'm not going to hold anything back from that, certainly. But yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit hard to find out all the bits that you've missed, and that is actually why when I did my my epic 4.5 hour Ecamm Live tutorial video, like start to finish, how to get it all set up. The reason I did that was, and I was in two minds as to whether to do that. I thought, is 4.5 hours too long for a YouTube video? And the immediate answer that would spring to mind would be yes. But I did actually get loads of views on it, and it's one of the highest viewed videos that I've done. And I've had loads of feedback saying that they really appreciated the fact that it was just all in one go, because then they know that if they stop it and come back to it, then they can pick it up where they left off. And it was just sort of start to finish how to do it. Whereas if you are on YouTube and somebody's got a channel up, like mine with lots of Ecamm stuff, how do you know if you've seen it all? If you've seen little snippets of how to do this, how to do that, you never really know if you know everything, if you see what I mean. The other thing that I've been sort of thinking about as well is some of my content is technically, well, it is actually out of date. Like, for example, that sort of 4.5 hour video, that's totally out of date now, because it was for the previous version of Ecamm Live, where we didn't have a lot of the amazing features that have been added in. So I do need to go back and sort of trim out some of my videos, I think, because otherwise people are going to find them and think that that's the way they have to do things, when actually there's a lot more simpler ways. I mean, the last update of Ecamm 3.9 was just amazing for all the features it added in. So definitely need to go back and trim out some of those videos, I think. So that's one thing that I'm going to be looking at doing at the beginning of the year. But I'm digressing. So all of this was to say that I will be doing a proper sort of Ecamm course that will just be start to finish how to get everything set up. Hey, Orbs, great to see you. Happy New Year to you and everyone else, obviously, as well. But 3.9 was just awesome. I can't wait to see what's coming in 4. There's got to be some, for that to have just been a sort of like dot release, so 3.8 to 3.9. But to see what's coming in 4, I'm quite excited. I'm sure they won't disappoint us. It is funny as well when people talk about the development team and how many people are on the development team, and it's just Ken and Glenn. It's quite an achievement what they're doing. So yeah, I'll be doing a course on that. I'm also going to do a full-on productivity course as well, about basically Mac productivity and how I've got things set up with things like Keyboard Maestro and stuff like that, because I am going to still do my Keyboard Maestro series on the channel and all the sort of other automation. But again, having everything coming in one place where it's sort of like start to finish how to get things set up, then that would be that's going to be really great. Hey Louis, great to see you here. Hope you're having an awesome awesome end to 2021 and start of 2022. Still my favorite emoji, by the way, cowboy emoji. I didn't know it existed until I met you. They talked about what is... Did they? Now, you see, I missed that. Normally, I don't miss those sort of things. I would get up early for them. But for some reason, I've got it into my head that the 2021 wrap-up was actually like on New Year's Day as opposed to New Year's Eve. So it's New Year's Day here. I would figured it was the day after. So I'm a bit gutted I missed that. I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay. So yeah, how about I keep the 4-hour Ecamm vid as it is, and a card link to a video you've created on the updated feature. That is a thought. Yeah, that is a very good thought. I did just think of remaking the 4-hour video, to be honest, because in actual fact, the 4-hour video with the new updates of Ecamm would probably be more like a 2.5-hour video. I mean, the changes that they put in, because a lot of it was talking about creating overlays in Keynote, making little cutouts where you're going to put it over the top. I mean, it's totally the wrong way to go about it now. I mean, now you can just literally have a backdrop, a background image, and then we can just put the borders on our camera overlays and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a lot of it was spent on, you know, doing stuff in Keynote that now people don't need to do in Keynote or any other application for that matter. Another big one was the screen sharing. So there was lots of little hacks and works around with screen sharing, talking about using NDI to get windows in. My thought is that it's actually that much wrong information for the latest version that what I do need to do is just remake the video, to be honest. And so I will just do like a long video again and then chop it up. One thing actually with that video was my intention with it was that I was going to make this 4.5-hour video, or however long it turned. It just happened to be 4.5 hours. I was going to make this long video of all the different sections of Ecamm and setting it up. And then I was going to go in afterwards and like repurpose the content and just cut it up then into lots of different shorter videos. So one about overlays, one about all the different panels, yeah, all the different sections. And I figured that actually out of the video of, you know, the start to finish thing, I'd be able to get like 10 or 20 shorter videos. However, I ended up, I mean, I hate editing. That's my thing, is I don't like editing. But when I went back in to do it, there wasn't a good flow to it because I was doing lots of callbacks to other videos. So I was just doing it as like, you know, as if I was just telling somebody how to use Ecamm. And so I was saying, oh, this is a bit like that thing that we just talked about. And it was more sort of conversational. And so I couldn't really chop it up easily into shorter sections. So what I would do this time is I'd try to be a lot more conscious about bearing that in mind for those people who don't want to watch a 4.5-hour video. They do just want it in little chunks. Then I would definitely be more conscious about bearing that in mind, that I'm going to be cutting it up afterwards into shorter sections. So yeah, that's my sort of thought process on that. I'm glad I wasn't the only one, Glenda, thinking it was on New Year's Day. So yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that one. Just DM'd you about a free Premiere course using existing content. Yeah, that is a good concept. Just sort of packaging up stuff that I've got, I presume. But I'll have a look at that. Thank you very much, Rich. And hey, Mr. Riley, James Riley, great to see you. So this is the thing, Glenda. I wonder if I should wait until 4 comes out to remake the video. I'll have to try and do a little bit of investigation and see if I can get an idea of when that is due. And I'll have to go back and watch that video. I don't know if they mentioned it in there, but yeah, that had totally occurred to me as well. I don't want to go and remake a video and then like next week they bring out 4. I don't think it's going to be that soon, but we'll see. Oh, thanks, James. Appreciate that. So yeah, there's the Ecamm course, the Mac productivity course with keyboard Maestro and all that sort of stuff that I'll be making as well. And that is all basically. Paul, thank you. The man with the information. There's going to be a 3.10 before 4. Well, there we go then. I will do it. And yeah, I've got some videos to make. I've got some catching up to do because as I mentioned earlier, I am in fact behind on my my goal. So 183 videos, and we're on day 232. I've got some catching up to do, haven't I, before day 365, but I'll get there. That's one thing about goals, is it does give you the incentive and motivation to actually do what needs to be done to actually hit them. Whereas if I hadn't really set any goal for the 365, then I wouldn't really be bothered that how many videos I've done. So goals are very important. One of my goals was actually to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, 1,000 subscribers, but it could never be a goal because I'm not in control of it. There's this thing about smart goals. So Specific. They've got to be specific. So in that sense, 365 videos in a year is one of them, and so would 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. M is measurable. Well, you can measure how many videos you've done, and you can measure how many subscribers you've done. The A, I've got to think now, is attainable. So technically, they are attainable. They're not sort of something completely out of the realm of possibility. I'm forgetting now. SMA, how to smell smart. R is realistic. Oh no, I'm getting this right now. Hang on a minute. I've got to actually look at this. I normally have it as a little overlay. The point I'm making is, let me have a look. Bring this up. The point I'm making is that I should just remember this off the top of my head, but it's gone completely out of my head for some reason. The thing about the number of subscribers is it's not something that is in my control. Relevant, that's the one. I was forgetting that. I was thinking realistic. I was getting confused. So attainable, relevant, obviously relevant to what you're trying to do, and time-based. So that's obviously set in a specific time. But the thing about the number of subscribers is that's never really in my control. I can't actually make people subscribe or, control that number. So the only thing that I can do is control the things that are likely to have an impact on that. So that's why, although in the back of my head, the 1,000 mark before the end of the year was always a thing that I was thinking, it'd be nice to have. I was never mentioned as a goal because, well, I'm not in control of it. So, I mean, it's the same, like I've got an idea in my head about the number of subscribers it would be nice to have by the end of the year, but, for the end of this year, 2022. But there's nothing I can do about it except just try and be consistent and provide value. Of course you did. There we go. If you want, that's the wrong comment. That's what I wanted to show. I just did a video on smart goals. So yeah, I mean, it's in another course that I do all about marketing and that. It's part of that as well. So it's just one of those things. It just totally missed my. I'm getting my words mixed up now. On the tip of my tongue, and I just couldn't remember what it was. Paul is always in the know. You're right there, Glenda. The man with the information. Oh, hey, Dina. Great to see you as well. So, yeah, in fact, speaking of the marketing course, that's another thing that I've got to revamp and update for this year as well. So that's going to be another little video production thing that I'll be doing. I've also got this. I've got quite a lot of sort of course material to make actually. That's some of it related to the channel, but then some of it related to my other things. So I'm going to be making a lot of videos in 2022. So there's one for the trading company and one for the marketing company as well. And then yeah, these other courses that are for sort of just general for the channel and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like I've got a lot on. We're also in the process of raising finance for the trading stuff that we're doing in terms of seed funding first of all, and then an initial round of funding, which will come in by the end of the first quarter or something. So it's just a really, really busy time with work in general as well. So yeah, that is basically my little update, and it's just gone 6 o'clock. So somewhere in the world, it's just gone New Year's. New Year. There'll be fireworks going off somewhere in the world. So, in fact, somewhere in Europe, probably. Most of Europe will have just gone into the new year. So, welcome to 2022, all of Europe. And yeah, so apart from that, that is my plans for the year. It's just making those courses and carrying on making the content. I am going to be building out more of the studio. As I say, you've got to get the shelves and stuff like that. Although, to be honest with you, I'm wondering about it now. I was going to have a shelving unit on the back, but I'm actually wondering whether that might just make it look a little bit cluttered. So I'll have to think about that. I'm quite liking just the plain background. Certainly on Zoom calls and things like that. I always used to use just the Ecamm virtual cam with green screen. But yeah, it is actually good on Zoom calls to just have a plain background so that people aren't distracted by trying to figure out exactly what it is you've got on your shelves. So I'm literally right at this moment just having second thoughts about even getting a shelving unit for the back. I may just go with some sort of lighting effects and maybe a couple of plants at the side or something. Not sure. What do you guys think? it's it might just end up being a little bit more cluttered. The other thing about having shelves is if you do have shelves, then the lighting is, you obviously got shadows and things like that to think about. So I'll have to think about it. I mean, I could just have a bit of a wider shot because I am actually cropped in a little bit. I could just have a bit of a wider shot and have something of interest in there instead. So yeah, what do you think? Shelves or no shelves? Let's make the decision now, and then I don't have to think about it. I've still got other stuff to put in here though. I do still need some more cupboards and storage and stuff like that because I've literally just got my desk in here at the moment. So I've got a few bags and boxes on the floor with stuff. Yeah, I know, Rich. That is what I thought as well. It looks like it actually just looks like like it's cropped in because the panels themselves are black. It's easy to mistake it for just literally like a square shot, isn't it? So yeah, I did actually think about that, and I wondered whether I should swap round two of the grey panels for the black ones, so that instead of it being, if I just quickly pop this up again, oh, in fact it's still open. If I pop this up, so at the moment I've basically got black, grey, black, grey. Well, if I swap those round, then that one on the back wall would be grey instead. And in fact, the tone of it, you can see it's pretty similar colour to the actual wall itself. So it means you would still see it, but it would actually take up the light, the colour of the light. And then the same on that side. So my shoulder's getting in the way there. So yeah, I did think about that. It's it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? It looks like I've just got two black panels. So there will be a couple of plants going down there that will sort of come up and pop up there. But yeah, I think maybe changing those for the grey panels might help. Okay, Dina, we've got one vote for shelves. So yeah, I do think that the lights behind the panel will definitely help sort of pop them out, and that was kind of the point of it, because you can see just in there is actually a corner, but you just don't really see it because it's just in the darkness. But there is that bit there is a grey panel, that bit there is a black panel, and in there is a sort of gap. So actually, the lighting that goes round the panel would sort of fill in that little gap. Okay, controversial. Now we've got shelves and no plants. Oh well, interesting. Oh well, there we go then. I think that is enough. We've got 3 votes for shelves. Nobody said no shelves. So right, okie dokie. that is that done. Back to plan A then. I'll stick with the original plan. Well, the original plan actually it's technically A.2 because the plants were part of the plan. So there we go. I'll get rid of the plants though. It's good though because I haven't actually got them yet. So yeah. So obviously I'm in close sort of proximity to the mic. So the mic does a lot of the work as well, but I am going to make a video where it's sort of like a before and after with the panels and without them, because the room was just like so echoey, and all I did was I literally just got the filling for the actual foam. It's not technically foam, it's whatever material it is. But I just got the actual panel itself before it was in the wooden frames that I'd made, and just sort of put it around the room. It was just amazing the difference that it made. It was quite astonishing. So I'm going to do a video with a sort of different mic setup so that you can actually, you don't get the sort of proximity effect, and you can hear what the actual room sounds like between the two. But yeah, so yeah, Paul, the little tour that I did with my iPad was. Yeah, you could clearly hear the difference in that. By the way, I'm going to do a video about this as well. This was something that I won at the Leap into Live thing. I can't remember how. I don't know if it was just random. Did I answer a question, or was it just a random prize? I think it might have just been random, actually. But it's this. The iRig Miccast HD. And it's a tiny little condenser mic that fits on an iPad or iPhone. It is magnetic, so it just fits on like that. But they also give you a little sticky metal pad, so it will just then sort of click to that. clip to that. And then basically you've got 3 different cables, either to USB-C, USB Mini, or Lightning. So it just plugs directly into the iPad. And then there's a little switch on it where you can say whether you want the front-facing mic, the back-facing mic, or have both of them. So it's good for interviews. It's amazing, though, what the sound quality is on it compared to the built-in mic. And it's just a really neat little mic. Got a little windshield on there. And then it's got the gain, so there's a little light on it. You adjust the gain. This is not a very good demo, is it? I need to come into a different shot. Hang on a minute. Let me come to this one. There you go. I don't know if you can see that any better. There's little buttons on it there, so you can adjust the gain up and down. Then you can change the... That's really not a very good picture. In fact, I'll tell you what I need to do. I've got a little light on here. That might make it a bit better. There you go. So, yeah, you can change between the front and rear camera. The gain on that side, and then it's also got a monitor as well, so audio monitor, and then at the bottom there is a headphone socket, and then that's the socket where you attach it to the device. So it's actually a really good little mic, so I'm quite impressed by it, to be honest, and it was a really nice little thing to win. So I'll do a video about that as well, because it's I can't remember how much they are. Don't know if they're... Let me have a quick look for you, because it is a nice little thing for sort of on the go. So I've used it with Zoom calls when I've had to do Zoom calls from my iPad. And so I just have that, and then have my in-ear monitors plugged into the monitor on the bottom of the iRig. Let's have a little look. What's it called? Miccast. There we go. I'll bring it up. I'll find out how much it is. IK Multimedia. So they were one of the sponsors of the event, obviously, Leap Into Live. And yeah, it was really unexpected. It's always nice, isn't it, when you get something like that? iRig, just get the exact name of it. Miccast HD is the one. And let me bring it up for you to have a quick look at. There we go. €74, 75 euros is the price of it. But yeah, so plugs into the phone or into, I suppose you could plug it into a laptop as well, but then also into the iPad, which is what I've used it for. Hey, Greg, no problem. Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you have an absolutely wonderful New Year celebrations, whatever you're doing. And oh, thanks, Paul. Paul's dropped the link in for the iRig. So that is that on special offer there then? Let's have a little look how much it is in that one. Whoops, a daisy. So, it's the I see. So they got the same discount as on the iRig website. Oh, thanks, Caleb. Really appreciate that. Nice of you to stop by, and really appreciate the sentiment. So thank you very much. I'm glad you find them useful. Oh, the timestamps. I'm still working on the timestamps. I didn't put them on initially. Then I got into the habit of doing it and also going back and adding them into to other videos. And then I've still got a lot that I've just not done. And part of the issue with me with timestamps is that obviously the whole thing about the channel is that I do the videos in one take and record them and then upload them to YouTube. And so I don't do any editing. So I don't get to actually go through and look at where the timestamp should be. So it means that I've got to, as part of my workflow, I've got to go back and actually watch myself, which I never really look forward to be honest. Although I do it at double speed, and then yeah, then I can just sort of add them in. It's really one of those things I should probably try and figure out a way to get it done. It's a pity that I can't just sort of think about it as I'm doing and adding in some sort of timestamp on the fly. But anyway, we'll have to see. I will make an effort though. It's one of my things for the new year is to go back and actually clean up all of my content. I don't mean removing foul language, but I mean clean it up in terms of making sure all the tags and things like that are there, or the thumbnails are as they should be. So I'm going to go back and do a bit of a review using TubeBuddy to sort of look at where there could be improvements made to different videos and things like that. But definitely timestamps is one of them. I have got a separate database of all my videos actually. So yeah. So you pretty much watch everything into except when live stream. I do that with a lot of stuff as well. And I certainly find that it speeds up the process, and most of it is understandable. I find as well when I watch my own stuff back at 2 speed, it actually sounds normal, whereas when I watch it at single speed, it I seem like I've got quite a few pauses in. So the double speed thing certainly helps. But yeah, I will go through and try and add in all my my timestamps and things like that. Ah, no, Paul's always there. Paul is always there on the button. I don't know how he's so quick, to be honest. I often, when we're in streams where I can add links in and things like that, I often think, oh, I'll just go and grab the link, and then I've gone and grabbed the link, and then I come back, and it's like, oh, Paul's already done it. He's lightning fast. I think Maestro helps him actually. I think that's his trick. He's got Maestro doing the research in the background. Maestro's his cat, by the way. The streamed YouTube as well. So yeah, so yes, that does help. So I made a Stream Deck macro set that basically allows you to pause and play YouTube in the browser, but while it's sort of the not the frontmost app. So you can obviously use keyboard shortcuts with, or maybe it wasn't obvious, with YouTube when you're watching in the browser for play, pause, forward, backwards, and all that sort of stuff. But with Keyboard Maestro, you can activate keyboard shortcuts in an app that isn't necessarily the frontmost app. So I made a whole set of Stream Deck icons and a Stream Deck profile with a Stream Deck profile with a Keyboard Maestro macro set that allows you to basically control YouTube in the browser even when you've got something else at the front. So that's what Rich is referring to. It means you can sort of play and pause whilst you're maybe typing the notes in the YouTube studio or something like that. Got there in the end, didn't I? I do fumble over my words from time to time. I got what you were meaning, Caleb. Don't worry. That's another thing that I'm going to be doing this year is actually creating some more Stream Deck icon packs and do it with along with Keyboard Maestro as well. So I've already got ideas for stuff like that. So in my little task planner, I've got all the different macro and icon sets that I want to make. So I do want to do those because that's one of the things about monetizing the channel that I'll be talking about when I get on to doing the video about that this week, about obviously reaching the monetization. It was monetized from the beginning, really, with certainly with the help from Doc mentioning buy me a coffee. That was one of the first things that I set up, and it was because of he obviously talks about that, and so that was one of the first things that I learned from him when I was doing my research to set up the channel. But the other thing is the icon packs that I have for sale on the website. They do sort of come in. I sell a couple of those a day, and so it's just a nice little extra income stream. But also hopefully that they do help people out as well. So I will be making a few more of those as well. So do I enjoy standing instead of sitting with a new setup? I do quite like it. Yeah, you might notice that I move around a little bit more than I used to because before Doc always used to say about how I was always sort of completely stationary and motionless, but now I am sort of rocking it a little bit more from side to side. But I tell you what, I am probably thinking I'm glad I didn't go with like a total standing desk full time. So although I'll be doing it for the videos and the live streams, I will be able to sit back down afterwards. You're working on getting Final Cut Pro optimized with Final Cut Pro X. Is that? I'm not in the know with the lingo on this one. And when I have done editing before, originally I would use iMovie as a lot of people did as a first step, but I do use Adobe Creative Cloud, and so from that we get Adobe Premiere. So when I have had to do the occasional thing with editing, then that is what I tend to use, just because it's so occasional that I haven't been out and bought Final Cut for it, because I want to avoid editing at all costs. It's not something I look forward to. I'm hoping that I see. So with Final Cut Pro X optimized with the Stream Deck. So I'm Oh, thank you, Rich. He's just popped the link into my my store. Much appreciated. I mean, using Stream Deck with Final Cut Pro X. Hey, did you know, by the way, let me just show you this because this might be useful if you're using Final Cut Pro. I think we've got one in here. Let me come over to my Stream Deck view. 1 second. Right, here is my Stream Deck. Forgive me if you already know this. If you go over into the Stream Deck store, like this, and then we go to is it icons? Icons. So I don't know if I've been too quick there. So in Stream Deck, if you click on the little cog, not the cogwheel, this one here for the Stream Deck store, that brings up the Stream Deck store, and then go to icons. In here they've got some that are, so we've got Photoshop, icon pack, and they are just the icons rather than oh no, in fact they're not. They are linked with the app itself, but they're from, there's a lot by this company here, Sideshow FX. So they make really great icon packs. Having just told you about my icon packs, they make really great icon packs as well, I should add. And they do them for all different applications. So you've got like the full Adobe Premiere. They've got one for DaVinci Resolve. Photoshop, I use that one from them. I say that, I don't use that one. That one says install. I use the Premiere Pro one. I've got that one installed. Yeah, Sideshow FX. I'm just wondering if they've got one for Final Cut. So they've got After Effects. Let's have a little look. Affinity Photo. So what it is basically, oh, so there you go. There's the Final Cut one. If you go to their website, Sideshow FX, they've got the full pack, and I think they're about $15, something like that, for a complete application pack. But then here, what they've done, as a little sort of teaser, I suppose, is they've given a sort of partial icon pack in the store. So this one you can get for free. So if I click on install and then click on install there, then I think it should, once it's installed, I don't think it sets up a full profile. Let me just have a little look. I don't think it has got a profile. Final Cut, is it there? Don't think it is. I think what it is it then just appears. I've got to find a blank page now, haven't I? There we go. I'll just create a new folder in here. And then, I don't normally use folders, but for the purposes of demonstration, I will do. Then I think it would it be a hotkey? Let me just stick on this. I'm just figuring this out as we go through. I think it just loads them into your library of, so open Stream Deck icon library. So that's the one. So once you've got the Stream Deck icon library, so you do have to map the controls yourself. Now this is just taking a little while. Shouldn't take this long to load. Yeah, so there you go. So that has basically loaded them into there. So if you map all of your icons, so we've got the affinity, and I'm sure it should actually have put it into there, but they're not there for some reason. I did just definitely download them. It should put them in the library, but you can see here the ones that I've got before, the Affinity Photo and the Premiere Pro icon pack. So from that you can just pick out, and these are the ones that they include. But then there is actually on their website, if you go and buy the pack for whatever it is, $15, I think, then it's got the full range of icons. So yeah, I create my own because whilst this is great that you've got all of these different tools, I find the actual icons themselves to be a little bit sort of busy, for want of a better word. A bit too much information. I like sort of big, bold icons that so something more like these. As opposed to these ones, which have got really quite a lot of little detail on it. So that's why I tend to just make my own. But having said that, these are literally for every action that you might want to do in these apps. So it is definitely a great resource. Yeah, check them out. I'll just tell you quickly again what they were called, just in case Sideshow FX it is. So I'll just come over to that one and show you. SideshowFX.net it is. here we go. So yeah, and they do. They're obviously icons for the Loop Deck, for Stream Deck, and for lots of different apps. So that's their actual website. The Premiere Pro ones actually look quite good. So yeah, there we go. A bit of a diversion, talking about more icons. Let's have a look where we're up to, because I've lost track of the the comments a little bit. So one thing I want is a 32 key Stream Deck. I love to be honest with you, I will be getting another 32 key Stream Deck, because one thing that you can do is all of my things are in profiles, so I don't really use folders except that last example for sort of ad hoc stuff. But all of my screens, all of my actions are in different profiles. But you can switch between profiles, so that means I've got like a home screen that just basically switches, a series of buttons that switches to all my different profiles. Well, if you've got two Stream Decks, you can actually have one Stream Deck control the profile on the other Stream Deck. So it means that I could have one sort of like core one, because I have got some core things that I want to have access to all of the time. But then I've got another one like for now for Ecamm, where it's just got my Ecamm stuff. But I would still like to have access to all of the sort of main core actions that I have as well. So having two Stream Decks, you could basically have sort of hotkeys to change the profile on the secondary one, but then the sort of primary one, if you like, has all of the core actions and macros and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've got more than one Stream Deck, definitely check out how you can change the profile on one from the other. It's a bit of a killer move, to be honest. Yeah, the Stream Deck. When I got it for doing the videos and for controlling Ecamm Live. And then when I got it, it just became like an extension of my left hand, really. It's quite an amazing thing. And to link it with Keyboard Maestro as well, it's just an awesome productivity tool. They work with Descript as well. Yeah, so Descript is something that I've sort of been on and off with, to be honest with you. I don't really do a lot of tech stuff or transcribing. I should really just transcribe all my videos and upload all of the captions taken from Descript. But I've been sort of on and off with it. And I signed up for it when I first heard about it, because it was like, oh, this is amazing, isn't it? You know, it is quite an amazing service. So I signed up for it and I paid for it on a monthly basis. I paid for it 2 months and I barely transcribed a thing. So I cancelled it. And then I started it again, and then I cancelled it again. And I've literally just yesterday started it again. Although I think I'm on, there's a free plan. I don't think there was a free plan originally, was there? I'm not sure. Oh no, I tell you what it was. It was I went to the Pro because I wanted to do the thing where it can sort of learn your voice and then overdub and stuff like that. So I did try that one out. So anyway, I'm back onto it now because I have got some stuff that I think I need to use a transcription for. So yeah, back on with that. But yeah, Stephanie Liu again, I think it was. Had all the shortcuts for that, so yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with Descript with Stream Deck, and I haven't re-signed up for Jarvis yet. I probably do need to, because I need to be thinking about some written content for some other stuff. So maybe that's a plan for 2022, is to get back on with Jarvis and with Descript in force. And Glenda, you're on with Premiere now as well, are you? They got a sale. I've been on Adobe Creative Cloud for ages, actually. So there's some great apps in there that I've not even touched that I should really just have a look at. But it's just a bit of a it's just a bit of a time sink. But some of the apps that they've got do look pretty awesome. Having little glitches that sometimes Stream Deck will give me an error message, so I had to set up a workaround. Yeah, what sort of it appears? Let's have a look. It appears as icons I have do multi hotkey, so open Final Cut Pro, then hotkey the command I want. Yeah, so a multi action, so it opens Final Cut and then does the hotkey command. Yeah, so what I do with those sorts of things is that's, you can do it where it sort of brings the thing to the window. If you do use Keyboard Maestro at all, then in Keyboard Maestro there's a really simple macro which is basically to perform an action in another application. So that means that you can sort of do things in the background, or you don't have to sort of make the application the active application first. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've still got to make the rest of my Keyboard Maestro series. I started it, but I haven't finished it, so I've got to get on with that on my channel as well. Please make the Stream Deck and Keyboard Maestro icons and profiles. I'd love to buy. Just got the 32 key. So I've got some on my site already, actually. So if I'll just quickly show you this for the benefit of those who might not be aware. I don't really like self-promotion, but here you go. So if you go to takeonetech.io and then click on store, then I do have a disclosure that you can actually make these yourself, and I'll tell you how I do that. But these are basically the icon packs I've got at the moment. So I've got this one's the YouTube player pack. So this one allows you to control YouTube in the background, so it's not the frontmost application. It's great. The reason why I made it was when I was watching tutorials, and I wanted to be able to watch a tutorial where I was doing something on whatever application it was. But then I want to be able to pause the tutorial, and I didn't want to click out of the application, pause in the YouTube player, come back to the application, do whatever I was doing, and keep going back and forth. So now with this YouTube icon player pack, you can just control everything in YouTube from here, even if it's sort of in the background. So that was the reason I created that. I actually don't have all of these on my sort of version of it. So the sort of things you got here is changing like full screen, theater mode, and so on. You got play, forward and backwards 10 seconds, skip to the next chapter, and things like that. Oh, that one, skip to the next chapter, skip to the next video, pause, turn on captions. You can also use these ones to just jump to a particular point in the timeline, so 20% through and all that sort of stuff, and this one to change the speed. I put all of those in this icon pack just because those are all of the shortcuts that are available in YouTube. So that's why I just included all of them in case people wanted all of them. Although generally in the version that I have of this is I just have the sort of play, pause. I do have the speed one and the chapter markers and things like that, but I don't necessarily have all of the caption ones in the one that I use. But I just put them all in there for anyone who wants to use them, basically. This one is an Ecamm Live one, so this is the one that I sort of use now. So my Ecamm profile is actually spread out over 2 pages. So you've got the first 4 rows and then the second 4 rows. In fact, it's spread out over 3 pages because I've got some that I sort of swap in and out sometimes. But generally, it's kind of like the first page is what I use for recording videos. And the second one is the one that I generally have up when I'm doing my live stream, where I've got like bringing guests in and things like that. So yeah, and they're pretty focused on just what I'm doing with Ecamm. So it's by no means an exhaustive Ecamm list of icons, but it's just the ones that I use. So I just wanted to make those available. I've got another one, which is a 2-page profile pack for Keynote. So doing things in Keynote, and it's especially good if you're making graphics and stuff like that. So, building groups, merging shapes, creating shapes, aligning things, and so on. So that's a 2-page Stream Deck profile for that. Then I've got another one for Zoom. So there is actually a Zoom plugin for Stream Deck, but it gives you limited control over it. So you've got things like mute, unmute, toggle video on and off, join meeting, leave meeting, things like that. But there's actually a special action in there as well, which is that you can activate any keyboard shortcut that's available in Zoom, even when Zoom's in the background, and it's part of the Zoom plugin for Stream Deck. So what I did was basically go and get all of the keyboard shortcuts for Zoom, much as I did here actually for YouTube, and just create the pack that basically controls everything in Zoom from one Stream Deck profile. And then again, I just sort of pull out certain ones of these that I have in different use cases for Zoom. So sometimes if I'm going to be on big calls, then I'll have this one that you can sort of swipe between gallery view, things like that. And then for other use cases, I have different ones. So I've got various different profiles that include these, but just the specific ones that I need to use. I'm laughing because this one here is just a little one. Most of my icon packs, by the way, are $10. But then this one is $2 because it's literally just these 9 things, and it's just to control. It's to control Pro Mouse. So that's the thing that I'm using on the screen, and I'm laughing because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people who have used Pro Mouse curse me for recommending it, and it allows me to zoom and things like that. The funny thing is, it works for me, but it seems like lots of other people it doesn't work for. So I can highlight the screen and stuff like that. But I did create a pack, so that's what I use to control Pro Mouse from my Stream Deck. I've got another one that I created, which is a calculator for for Stream Deck, and it basically just gives you clunky keys to use with whatever calculator you've got on your computer. So clicking on that will open the Mac calculator, and then you can just use this, because sometimes I just like typing on clunky keys with my calculator. And then I did create this one, which was the 3000 icon pack for Stream Deck. I am very clear about it. It's actually 150 icons in 20 different colors. So there you go. It's 150 pictograms on 20 different colors. And so they're just a collection of random icons, really, that can be useful on your Stream Deck. And in fact, that in the background is what they all are. So sorry about that bit of shameless self-promotion. That was just to by way of answering the icons for Keyboard Maestro and so on. So I haven't got specific ones to control Keyboard Maestro as such, except that like all of the YouTube pack uses Keyboard Maestro to control the actions in the background. The Keynote one as well uses Keyboard Maestro to control those actions, and so it's more of a case of Keyboard Maestro being the tool that I use to create the actions that are then triggered by the Stream Deck. So Stream Deck XL is definitely worth it. Yeah, I mean, some people I can understand when they're considering getting a Stream Deck. They might think, oh, well, all I want to do is, this, I've got, 5 scenes maybe. And, if they're going to use it with Ecamm or OBS or whatever, they might just think, oh, well, I've got 5 scenes. I've got these other things that I need to do. So, yeah, the 15 or whatever it is would be fine. The thing is, it's just, as everyone who uses a Stream Deck knows, once you get it, you realize that there are so many more use cases for it. So it's definitely, I always advise people, if you can and, your budget can stretch, then the 32 is definitely worthwhile, and indeed, you can start off and you've always got extra space then. So I'm not sure which one you're talking about there, Rich, but I wonder if that's controlling the other Stream Deck with one Stream Deck. Oh, it must be, yes. So still learning how to use one Stream Deck. Yeah, it's one of those things though. Once you get it, it's totally intuitive. I've tried it out with the mobile app, but it's not the same. I mean, it works the same, but having the Stream Deck on the mobile and then using that to control the other one. But the thing about Stream Deck is it is just an actual device. Do you know what? I still have not properly dug into Loop Deck. Can you believe that? How long have I had that now? And I've still not got it all set up. And, that was one of the things. I mean, I've got sidelined with other stuff in the past few weeks and whatever. But still, to have a gadget like that and to have not sort of done the work on getting it all set up and so on is, I've just realised my microphone's been drooping. Let me tighten that up a little bit. It's... I don't know. I can't quite fathom why that is, because I'm normally someone who just dives straight into any new gadget. So having the Loop Deck, which I've got on my desk, and it's just not fully set up yet. I've dug into it a bit. I do use it for. I actually use it for Photoshop. I like the knobs on the and the dials so that you can do things like increase brush size and stuff like that. So the one app that I do use it in is currently Photoshop. But apart from that, I've just not got it into my workflow. I don't quite know why. I don't know whether there's some friction there. Usually, if something, I don't just leap on it. There's some sort of friction. So I'll have to figure out exactly why that is. Okay, you're scared of Keyboard Maestro. Do you need to pay for it? Here's the thing about Keyboard Maestro. It can be daunting because of all the different things it can do. But you don't have to start with everything. It can literally do like anything you can imagine. And so the mind naturally boggles at what it can do. Let me just pull up the website because I forget exactly how much it is. It is, I think, about $30, but it's not one of these you're paying for it monthly sort of subscription-based models. It is actually a one-off payment. Keyboardmaestro.com. Let's have a little look. There is a free trial, and pricing is $36. And so $36 for version 10, which is the latest version, and you can use it indefinitely. So there is a cost. You could get the free trial first, but if you watch the beginner's guide that I did to it, I haven't done many videos on it, or just look on the channel for Keyboard Maestro. Just like search for Keyboard Maestro. I've probably done about 5 or 6 or 7 videos that mention Keyboard Maestro or use it in some way. That'll give you an idea of kind of the sorts of things that it can do. But there's two mistakes, or not mistakes, two maybe approaches that people take to it when they first get it, which are not necessarily productive. One of them is they just open it up and they see like all of the potential options that they've got for different things and macros that they can create, and the mind just boggles and they switch off and they think like, oh no, this is too much for me. Or the other thing that they do is they get like really into it and think like, this is amazing, this can do everything that I want. And then this is me, this is what I did. I went through on the first week or 2 weeks I'd got it, and I just went through and set up like hundreds of macros doing all these different things, and then I promptly forgot about them. I didn't give them time to bed in as muscle memory, and I'd written all these things, and then I'd forgot about how to trigger them all, and I'd set up keyboard shortcuts. This was 15 years ago, before Stream Decks. And so it was all keyboard shortcuts that you were using to trigger them. So imagine, we all know, Command C is copy, Command V is paste. Well, imagine if you suddenly load onto yourself another 100 or 200 keyboard shortcuts that you're expecting yourself to remember. It's just impossible. And so that's another thing that people do, is they go down, which is what I did, is they go down this route of like, oh, I want it to do everything for me immediately. The best approach with Keyboard Maestro is get the free trial and try out a few things and get an idea of if you think it's going to be something that's going to be of benefit to you, and then just like start with one thing that you want to do, and do that and get that one embedded into your mind, or maybe 2 or 3 or something like that, but just so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Sorry to use the O word if Stock is watching at some point, but don't get so that you sort of don't remember all of the different things that you've set up. But it can be really, really basic, as well as in fact, let me just quickly, I'll just give you a very quick example of how basic it can be. So say, for example, let me just pull up this, which one? That one. There we go. So here is Keyboard Maestro. I'll just give you a really quick overview and a really quick example of a macro. Say you want to trigger something in a particular app. Now, I've got Ecamm Live open, right? So in Ecamm Live, you obviously have different profiles. I say obviously, perhaps you don't know. You have profiles that you can switch between different profiles. Oh, thank you, Caleb. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And it will go straight into the coffee pot because this channel is fueled on coffee. Thank you very much. This one's on you, Caleb. Thank you. So in Ecamm Live, you've got profiles. So one thing that I've done is I've set up a shortcut. I've kept talking about this video that I've got to make, and I still haven't made it. So perhaps that'll be one I do this week, where basically one button just closes down everything I don't want to have open. It opens Ecamm. It switches to the right Ecamm profile, and then we'll switch to the right Stream Deck profile. So I do use Ecamm with different use cases. So the icon pack is for my Take One Tech, but then I've also got one for other things. So one button basically sets up all of these things. It positions all of my my windows and things like that, and then it does that all in one push of the button. But if you don't want to go that complex, if you just want a button on your Stream Deck to change profile in Ecamm Live, I'll show you now how easy that is to do in Keyboard Maestro. So this is the Keyboard Maestro interface. It's basically got down here groups of macros. So this is how you sort of organize the different macros you've got. So here you've got, you can see I've got this group here that open, which is pedals live stream. So I've got foot pedals that I use to control things on my live stream. And that is basically 3 pedals. And so over in this column, you've then got the actual macros that are within that group. So just think of these groups as basically like the way that you want to organize your macros, your little shortcuts and things like that. And then in this column then is the macros that are within that group. In this window on this side, you've basically got information related to, if you've selected one of the macros, then it's selecting, then it'll tell you about that. If you've got an actual folder selected, then this window then displays information about that particular group or folder. Okay, so when you install Keyboard Maestro though, you'd basically just have nothing in this macros one, and you'd probably just have a couple of example folders in here. So let's say you want to create a group for Ecamm profiles. So I've just clicked on the plus button at the bottom. In fact, can you see that? Let me just move that up a bit. So that's now created an untitled macro group here. And you can see there that it's automatically highlighted the name of it. So I'm just going to call this, let's call it Ecamm. I was going to say, let's call it Ecamm profiles, but I've actually already got a folder called that. So I'll call this Ecamm folders demo. So we've now created, let's call it our first little group of actions. And then if you come down to the plus button to create our first macro, assuming we haven't got all these others, you click on the plus button there, and it's now created a new macro. So we're going to give that a name, which is, let me just pick one of my profiles just so that I can use it as an example. In fact, I've got one that's just called, this profile I'm in at the moment is Take One Tech, or just TOT. So TOT profile. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to actually, you've got 2 things that you can do. You can create either a trigger, first of all, which is what's going to actually trigger the action. You can trigger actions by either a keyboard shortcut, which is sort of the traditional way that people might do it. But you can also have all sorts of other different triggers, like when you log in, or when you are on a particular Wi-Fi network, or when you put the computer to sleep. So if you wanted something like a backup process to happen once you sleep the computer, then you can trigger it by that. You've got Wi-Fi triggers, Wi-Fi network. So if you go to your coffee shop of choice and you log onto their network, you might want to shut down any syncing and stuff like that, so it's not taking bandwidth or whatever. There's lots of different triggers, but we're not going to get into all of that. We'll just consider that there's either a hotkey trigger, but in actual fact, if you leave it blank, we can trigger it by Stream Deck. So if we're going to trigger a switching profile in Stream Deck, then we'll just leave that one blank, and I'll come to how to do that in a moment. So then we want to come to the action. Now the actions, this is where people just get a little bit mind blown by it, and it can put people off because there's too many to choose from. But this here is going to be the action that we're going to perform, and actually you can sort of chain a whole series of actions together, so you can get quite complex with this. But we're going to go with the absolute basic. We're going to add an action. Now it categorizes, so you'll notice, if I just do that again, when I click on this, you'll notice that this window pops up, and it's basically 2 columns. So you've got categories of actions and then the action itself. So the categories are the way that Keyboard Maestro is just sort of grouping these actions together, but you can also look at all actions, you can favorite some, and then you can also get third-party plugins as well. But if I just leave it on all actions, you can see that there's all of this big long list of potential things that you can do, and that's where some people think like, oh, it's a little bit much. This is. I don't think I need all of this. It's a bit too much for me. You don't need to obviously use all of these, and you can just take exactly what it is that you want. So there is a search function which works quite well. So if we want to activate a menu command from Ecamm Live to switch profile, if I go to type in menu here. So we've got this select or show menu item. So we want to select a menu item. So I'm going to click that one, and you can see that it's added it down here. Now basically what this is doing is this can add in a menu item of any application that you've got running. And the way it works is the menu title, if you think about the menu bar in the app in Apple, then the menu title is just the heading of that menu item, and then you've got this sub menu. So if you in Ecamm Live, we would go to profiles, And bear in mind that when you create a new profile, it does actually add it into the profiles menu. So now we've got access to that as a menu command. But then you might also have sort of sub menus, you know, if you go through like a sort of menu tree. So you can always add multiple items for this. But you can also just navigate directly to it. So if I go over to here, instead of saying the front application, if I go to Ecamm Live and then go to the menu here, it's got all of the different apps that I've got open at the moment. And I can go to Ecamm Live and then profiles. And then here you can see a list of all my profiles. So if I click that one, TOT, that is basically it. We've now created a macro TOT profile that when we activate it will make the in my case, my Take One Tech, my TOT profile, the active thing. Oh, thank you, Glenda. Much appreciated. I'm going to have to go and make some more coffee. Thank you very much, Glenda. Really appreciate that. So, where was I? So yeah, we've now created that as a macro. Now, if we want to add this into our Stream Deck, all we have to do is, if I come over to my Stream Deck a minute, and I'll just go to a, in fact, I'll bring this down here instead. 1 second. Just need to go to a little blank page. I'll go to this one, so I've got space to add in a macro. So here we are in Stream Deck. In fact, let me try and make that a little bit bigger. I will go to a different view. There we go. So I've got my empty Stream Deck. If you go to down here, there is a Keyboard Maestro plugin for Stream Deck, by the way, but I prefer this other one, which is called KM Link. And so the way that you get that is you open up the Stream Deck store, you go to plugins, and then if you search for KM Link in here, then, whoops, Daisy, where's it gone? Hang on a minute. I'll just type in KM. Oh, it's all one word. It's all connected. So KM Link, no space. Then install that. So that's Keyboard Maestro Link. And the way that that works is it will appear in the custom menu. So if down here, rather than it appearing like Ecamm Live's got its own little menu, because the KM Link is literally just one action, it comes under this custom, and you just drag it in as a button. And then basically here, it gives you access to all of your Keyboard Maestro macros, and it will tell you the last modified macro, or you can go through and you can just pick one of your other macros. And that's it. So if I assign that, in that time, and obviously a lot of it was me sort of waffling on about different things, but in that time, we've basically created a Keyboard Maestro action to switch profiles in Ecamm, and then pressing this button on the Stream Deck would actually switch profile. Obviously, I can't do it now because I'm in the middle of recording, and I am actually in this profile, but that is just an example of, like, you can be really basic with Keyboard Maestro, and you don't need to get overwhelmed by all of the potential options for it. It's just a case of taking it step by step, so yeah, there we go. That is that. That was a bit of a rambling answer, really, to answer, Caleb, your question or your point about being a bit concerned about perhaps complexity of Keyboard Maestro. So let me catch up with some of these comments. Yeah, I've never used Descript. Just getting back off track again now, or getting back on track rather. Yeah. So the reason why I actually started using Descript originally was because I did actually have a podcast. And I say I did actually have, I mean, technically I still have. I only did 3 episodes of it. And the idea of it was I was going to follow along with my progression of growing my channel and document that in a podcast. And I did it for 3 weeks. But I think it was just the friction. The friction thing was just, for me, the friction of actually doing it just got in the way. And so I didn't do it. So I've got to pick it up because I had somebody contacted me just recently and just happened to mention, like, oh, I've just listened to your podcast, and I thought, oh, so people are listening to it. That means I should probably go back and actually keep doing it. So am I going to have a complete revamp 2022 design wise? I was thinking about that because my sort of whole sort of overlays and stuff like that were more designed to fit in with my previous background, although not really, but they did fit more, whereas I noticed these are not necessarily quite right. So yeah, I probably will at some point do a bit of an update to my general channel design. Yeah, so Adobe, that's the thing about the Adobe suite. It's one of those things. I do use it. It's I primarily use Photoshop. I use Illustrator a little bit, but I'm by no means Illustrator is one of those apps that I've never really fully got into. I use it occasionally when I need to do stuff, and I always find like workarounds to do things with it. But I don't feel like I'm totally comfortable with Illustrator. But I do use Photoshop quite a lot for different things. In fact, I probably use Photoshop for things that I should use Illustrator for. But it's just I'm that much into the Photoshop way of doing things. I use it for graphic stuff that I should, like I say, probably use Illustrator for. But there you go. I'll forgive you this time, Caleb, but try not to do it again. Forgetting to click the like button. I'm glad you like Pro Mouse. I'm glad there's somebody else, Carly, who is using it and likes it, because it seems like I'm getting lots of people who are like Doc will curse me every time he uses it almost. Oh, is that about the Stream Deck? Yes. Oh, hey, Keely. Sorry, I've just got down to you in the comments. Oh, thank you very much. Great of you to stop by. I know I've got a bit of an LGL party going on in here, I think. The Let's Get Live group. And thanks. Much appreciated on the studio. Oh, Dale's snuck in as well. Hello, Dale. Great to see you here. And there we go. Mr. Paul Duncan on the case as ever. Thank you very much for posting the link. I know I should probably show you my video list, but I think there was about 170 videos at the last count that I still have yet to make. It's just every time I think of one, I put it up. What I usually do is I prioritize. If somebody asks a specific question, then I'll just make a video to answer the question. But then there's all the other videos that I want to make, or that I've got to, that I came up with for the channel to make, that I've still got to make. So yeah, there's it's in the hundreds now. You're welcome, Caleb. Do you know what? That's another thing. The Linktree link. Yes, I need to do that. It's on my list. In fact, was it Linktree that I even did sign up to, but I haven't set it up or something? I can't remember. There was another one as well that some people were talking about. In fact, let me just write that down. I'll write it on my little index card, and then maybe I'll actually get around to doing it. Because it is useful. Let's have a little look. I nearly did. I have changed around my my Stream Deck layout a little bit. So what it is, there was the last, not the last two, but maybe the two before that, live streams. When I was doing my sort of ending, I rather than actually giving it a the proper ending, it's just the stream just ended abruptly. And the reason is because I've got two pages on my Ecamm profile. One page is the one that I generally use for my videos, and the other page is the one that I use for my the live stream. And the position of the end video in my recording page was in the same position on the other page for the start live stream button. So what would happen was I would, instead of pressing the end button, I'd actually press the start live stream button. But what that does is that triggers the action to start stream, but that's also the same button to end stream. So it meant that and rather than going to my regular sort of outro scene, it was just ending it. So I've actually moved them around now, so that shouldn't happen again. So hopefully when I end this live stream eventually, whenever that is, it will all flow smoothly. Hey Stefan, great to see you. Thank you very much for stopping by on this. To be honest with you, I thought that there would be no people turning up today, so I'm very pleased to see all of you lovely people here. And great, Lala's here as well. So we're obviously another fellow person in the 2022 already. In fact, I think you're an hour ahead of me, aren't you? in the Philippines, Lala is. So Hey, Louis, so when we talked, I was pretty overwhelmed trying to learn many apps at once. Also, Pro Mouse works flawlessly when I do a fresh reboot. After that, it goes downhill for me fast. Right, we'll have to figure out something about that then, Louis. Perhaps we can write a little macro to reboot it when you are starting a video or something like that. That would be a little workaround for it. I am looking at other mouse alternatives. There's one that slips my mind now that Paul has recommended before, and then there's also Mouse Pose, which I looked at before. Thing about Mouse Pose is it couldn't do the zooming. It does the sort of mouse pointer thing, but it doesn't do the zooming that I used. Yeah, well, that's the way, isn't it? So I've got to catch up with some Adina streams, by the way. I've loved the ones that I've watched, and yeah, although the one with the carrot did make me feel strangely inadequate, but yeah, she's just got such a great concept for the channel. So Silver Lining Home Place is the channel, and it's a Dina. It's just wonderful cooking channel. All stuff fresh from the garden. It's amazing. You can go and see the thing being picked from the garden and then being transformed into a delicious cake. What more could you want from a channel? So let me have a look. Took me 4 minutes. It's in fives. How people? Oh, right. So the Linktree thing. Yeah. I definitely need to get onto that. I will. I'll get onto that. It might not be today, actually, New Year's Day, but I'll look at it maybe at the beginning of the week. I see. Right. Okay, then. Well, there you go. I've got a hard out then in 1 hour. In fact, I'm gonna go off before then because I think my kids will be getting up. One thing that about being in my new studio, because I'm sort of down at the bottom of the garden, is I no longer hear the sort of as my kids wake up and start running down the stairs, so I don't get that little alert tone that everybody's up. Yes, we are in the future. Oh, there you go. Look at that, Paul Duncan, as ever, on the case with the channel. Yeah, so there are a load of different Linktree things out there. There was what was the one that Doc recommended? Was that what was that one? I can't remember what he. There was another one that you mentioned that wasn't Linktree, but yeah, I can't remember what it was. Well, you've asked a question there, Caleb. So have I looked into affiliate links? And presume by that you mean linking to other people's products and services. Well, whoops daisy. It's funny you should say that because I use TubeBuddy on my channel to help me with all of my organization and to help me find the perfect tags to go with my videos. It's also great if you want to do any find and replace text on your YouTube videos. So for example, I recently went and updated all of the descriptions of my YouTube videos with all of my Amazon affiliate links, and I did it all with find and replace in TubeBuddy, and it took me about 2 minutes. So to get your free trial of TubeBuddy, head over to takeonetech.io/TubeBuddy. So is that what you meant by affiliate links? Or how about I make all of these videos with Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is live production software that you can use to create videos on the fly in one take. It's how I make all the videos for my channel. Get your free trial over at takeonetech.io/ecamm. Like the music that you're hearing in these adverts, head over to takeonetech.io/epidemic to get your free trial of Epidemic Sound. You can be guaranteed to find a wide range of royalty-free, of copyright-free music that you can use in your YouTube channels, your TikTok videos, and everywhere else you make content. It's the one place to be for stock music. Want to be more productive on your Mac? Then why not head over to takeonetech.io/setapp and try out Setapp. Setapp is basically a subscription service. For just $9.99 a month, you can get access to over 200 great productivity apps. This is an affiliate link, and the way the affiliate link works is if you try out Setup, you'll get a week for free to try out all the different apps. But then if you do go on to sign up, you will get a free month and I will get a free month. And that is how the affiliate link works. So head over to takeonetech.io/setup and you can get lots of great apps there that I use all of the time. So yeah, so there we go. I do have affiliate links, but I just I made all of those little things, obviously, but I always just feel I never get to sort of work them into the videos because I always just feel a bit corny doing that sort of stuff, really. And I do have them all linked in the description. But yeah, I did make all of those little things. I've also got one for my own website, so as well, but I won't bore you with that. So in terms of affiliates, though, I obviously have got TubeBuddy, Epidemic Sound, the Ecamm Live affiliate program as well, and then obviously Amazon affiliates. I made a video about this as well recently, and seriously, TubeBuddy I do find a really great product, and the find and replace thing is amazing. So being able to just go in and update all of the links on, all of the descriptions of your video with the find and replace is a really great feature. And so what I did was, although I sort of mention Amazon affiliates and Amazon products when I was mentioning them in a video. So if I was talking about something specific that was from Amazon, then I would drop a link in the description and say, you know, obviously the link is in the description. But one thing that I noticed that other people did that I wasn't doing was actually just in the descriptions, just having a list of gear that I use and stuff like that. And so I wanted to add that into the bottom of all of my videos. And at that time, I'd got like, 160 videos or something. So I didn't want to go through and update them all manually. But I used TubeBuddy's find and replace function to basically go and add in all of those links into the description. And what happened was, in a month, instead of getting, a couple of dollars here and there from Amazon affiliate commission, it just went up considerably, and I had like 300 click-throughs onto my Amazon affiliate, or onto Amazon through my Amazon links, like in the first month, which was, compared to 30 the previous month. And it's just, people see the descriptions and then look down and see, gear that I use, and maybe they're interested in some of it, and so they click through. And the way the Amazon program works is that you don't just get commission on whatever they buy from the link. It's anything that they buy within, I don't know, is it 24 hours or something like that, or from that visit to the Amazon. So I can see what people are buying, and some of it is the stuff that I've recommended or the stuff that my links are for, but then a lot of it is stuff that people have bought in addition, or they've gone to Amazon and then bought something else. So that really made a big difference to Amazon affiliate commission. So yeah, that's another affiliate program that I'm with. One of the things that I'm doing for the Zoom course that I'm doing is I've also got Camo by Reincubate, and then also Speedify as well. So I've got discount codes for them. So I've recently got signed up with their programs as well. But yeah, that's about it as far as affiliate programs. I know there's probably more that I could jump on, but again, it's how to actually fit those into the flow without I don't want to be too I don't want to be too salesy, which is a bit weird because I did a whole session on sales funnels in Doc Rock's office hours a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I try and avoid being salesy if at all possible. So that's why I don't tend to mention the affiliate programs. But that is in answer to your question, though, about the affiliate links. Doc uses flow code instead of Linktree, right? I don't know who Ron Popel is, actually. I'll have to look him up. I'm guessing that is somebody who does those kind of sales videos, but I'll have a little look for him. Yeah, I've just got to try and do them, I suppose, haven't I, really? But there you go. I only tend to mention things when it's relevant to what I've been talking about. I know it started a whirlwind. Let me have a look. Yeah, I've tried to get a few things in. So, I mean, to be honest with you, the things about the affiliate links, that was one of the things that I got set up right from the start. So I have done a video about this, the things that I did before actually launching my channel, and it was setting up with Amazon and all these sorts of things, the TubeBuddy affiliate and all that sort of stuff. So I did get that all set up right at the beginning before actually launching my channel. appreciate all the comments. Oh yeah, so when the gear that I use, so I do as well, by the way. So while we're on that, I have got a page on my my website. So I'll just quickly show you that, just in case you're interested. I do need to update this, I realise, because I've just added a load of new gear to the thing. But if you come over to the gear on my website, then here basically I've got a thing about different gear that I use. And where there's a video about it, I've got a video. So I did a review of the Shure MV7. So I've got a video about that, the windshield. So I use the SM7B windshield on the Shure MV7, and it reduces popping, apparently. So there we go. We'll see. That was the mic arm that I was using, just a sort of cheap Amazon one, but I've since got the Elgato Wave, so I'm going to add that one in there as well. These are the earphones I'm using, KZZS10 or KZZS10. UK people rib me for using the American pronunciation of the letter Z, but I've just got into the habit of doing it, so there we go. And then some stuff that I use with my my camera lighting. I've upgraded my lighting since this, and then the teleprompter and that. So I have got that gear guide on my website. Let's have a little look. Do you have something so that you can get affiliates even if they're from other countries? So with Amazon in particular, I always link to the US website, US Amazon, because that's where most of the largest number of my visitors come from the US. Not necessarily over 50%, but just that's the biggest value on the list. So I always put the US Amazon store links. With Amazon, you can actually link it to other stores as well. So if you set up with affiliates in the UK is separate to Europe, but then Europe is like one for the whole of Europe, and then for other regions as well. You can basically set those all up and link them to your main one. So when somebody clicks on the link, it will actually, I don't know if it redirects them or if they go to there, then they can buy it in their store, then you still get the commission from it. But what they do is with the Amazon commission, I think you have to have 3 purchases within 6 months or something. So once you sign up for the Amazon affiliate, you've got to have 3 purchases within 6 months, I think, something like that. And if you don't get that, then basically they just end your affiliate status. But they treat them all as regions individually. So what that's meant was I created one for the US and one for the UK, but even though I'd got lots of sales through the US, the UK one hadn't had any within 3 months. So I got a notification, or 6 months, whatever it was. So I got a notification from them that they were ending that. So in theory, I suppose I could just go and restart it again. So there is that. But for other affiliates, I guess you can do, affiliate programs with people in other countries. I don't see why you would not necessarily be able to do that. And really interested in setting that up. So if that is Amazon, then I can do a little video about that, about how to set that up. Because it's quite. I won't do it now because I'd have to go into my Amazon, and I've already given away some of my email addresses when I did the demo earlier, so I'll probably do that as a separate video. Yes, so that's it. It's just got links in my descriptions. Let's have a little look. Vegematic. I'll definitely look him up though. It sounds interesting. Sounds like it might be funny. I don't know. Of course it is. It's neither Z or Z. It's Zulu, of course. How could I have got that wrong? We all know that. Oh well, I'm glad some of it was useful, Glenda. I got what you said. You don't need to retype. Right, you do French and English videos, so find it complicated. Got you. Getting the right. I get you. Getting the right thing for the right video, I guess. Very good. Well, I think it is almost about time for me to wrap it up, because it's 7:15 and I understand that at 8 o'clock there is a very important live stream, which is the Silver Lining Home Place cookery show. So what I need to do now is I need to go and just say hello to the kids briefly before I come back and get on that stream. So thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for the super chats, which are now available. I can't believe it, finally. Thanks also for the coffee as well. Much appreciate it. This is what fuels the channel, starting at the time I do. So yeah, it's been very nice spending New Year's morning with you all. Nowhere else I'd rather be. So I hope you all found it useful, and I will sign off now. And this time I'm not going to end it prematurely. I have got the right button here. So yeah, thanks once again. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful new year. For those of you still in 2021, can't wait for you to join us in the future. And yeah, wishing you all the best for the new year. Have an absolutely wonderful day. I appreciate you all spending time here.